The Devil's Pool. This exquisite pool is in Zambia, just on the outskirts of Victoria Falls. Countless individuals take the perilous plunge not only to view it, but also to experience the feeling of the Zambezi River streaming by them. They descend from 120-meter height after passing the final rocky obstacle. It is also worth noting that the river frequently sweeps the bravest adventurers away, making it difficult to locate them. Those who enjoy taking dramatic photos or content for social media sites in an attempt to reach as far as they can across the chasm are particularly vulnerable. However, even traveling to this location is dangerous. To reach this pool, tourists must swim from Livingston Island along the Zambezi River through crocodile and hippo habitats. They are said to become rather hostile when distressed. However, it is also worth noting that the experiences of those who are desperate to reach this extreme are very memorable, and the vistas of the massive falls and the rainbow hanging over them will be with them for the rest of their lives. Mount Huashan in China. There are countless temples and other religious buildings on the slopes of this mountain in northwest China, but you must climb the mountain to see them. Following a steady ascent, you must find yourself hundreds of feet above the ground, clinging to a few wooden boards tied to the cliff's edge by slack metal chains. The planks appear to be held together by massive bolts. There are few handholds. With just one wrong step, you can fall several kilometers to your doom. When you look down, you can't help but wonder, what the bloody hell am I doing here? When compared to the trails of this mountain, the Grand Canyon Skywalk appears as terrifying as a stroll through Disneyland. Adventurers on the Holy Mountain will come upon planks placed at thousands of feet height along bare cliff faces. The bolts holding these planks are inspected regularly. The situation in the restroom is even more frightening. According to a Chinese travel site, on the peak of Mount Huashan, there are just a few restrooms, and they are in a not-so-good shape. It is preferable to prepare beforehand. Base jumping. There aren't many adventure companies that post a disclaimer like, "There's a potential you'll badly injure yourself, possibly die." But SBK Base does. SBK Base prepares you to leap off a cliff. Jumping off a cliff in Kerag, Norway is the closest thing to a wild experience. This Norwegian cliff, which drops 3,228 feet to the ground, is one of the most recognizable base jump spots in the world. After jumping from this point, you have around 15 seconds before hitting the valley below. Surprisingly, if you know what to do and are a skilled base jumper, there is a lot you can achieve in 15 seconds. You can somersault, glide, or form a formation before you activate your parachute and land in the valley or water below. Base jumpers have surprisingly extra lives because I believe you have to be insane to do it. According to the most recent SBK statistics, there have been around 53,000 jumps, 135 mishaps, more than 10 fatalities, 11 climber rescues, and over 40 helicopter rescues. The Glass Bottom Bridge in China. There are several beautiful skywalks in China, but this one is the tallest and most exciting. This 200-meter-long glass bridge spans the valley of Tianmen Mountain Peak, which towers over them at 4,500 feet. This bridge is 2.5 inches thick and 3 feet wide. The bridge's narrow width and high elevation are what makes it so exhilarating. You can also see the vast valley below you, which appears to go on forever. How exciting will it be to notice that the bridge is continuously swinging back and forth due to the severe high winds at this height? That shouldn't disturb you because the glass on this bridge is strong enough to support the weight of 2 huge trucks at once. The view from this skywalk is breathtaking, with gorgeous snow-capped mountain summits all around you and luscious valleys below. If you appreciate adventurous and adrenaline-inducing activities, this is a must-try. However, if you are afraid of heights, abort mission. Peruvian Sky Lodge. Would you like to spend the night in a transparent pod attached to a sheer cliffside? Since its debut in 2013, thrill seekers en route to Machu Picchu have been enticed to this sky-high lodging, making it the first hanging lodge in history. Overnight guests can stay in one of the hotel's 3 hanging guest rooms and wake up to 360-degree views of the magnificent Peruvian landscape. The pods have everything you need for a comfortable stay, but because they are suspended 3,961 feet in the air, they add a death-defying edge to this alpine getaway. Nile River Rafting. Whitewater rafting isn't all that scary if you have the appropriate safety gear, such as a life jacket and helmet. But getting into a little rubber raft and heading off into the raging Nile River is a little unsettling. Nile River rafting is unquestionably one of the most thrilling activities available. These Grade 5 rapids are flooded with a large amount of water. Every time your raft flips and you get dragged under the ferocious stream of water, you can't help but wonder, what if I can't make it back to the ocean surface? This location is ideal for those who appreciate outdoor activities and thrills. Mexico border crossing. You're walking through the desert with your little baggage in quest of a better life, trailing strangers who beg you to count on them. You're walking along tiredly 1 minute, and the next you're being pummeled by drug cartel guys. Soon after, armed burglars rummage your baggage for cash and valuable items. Then the Border Patrol agents detain you shortly after you successfully escape the burglars alive. Well, greetings from Nightwalk, probably one of the craziest tours on the planet. At Parque Eco Alberto, located south of the border hundreds of miles away, thrill seekers compete in a 7-mile race for 3 hours designed to simulate an attempt to cross the border into the United States. If you don't fancy being hunted by armed performers, there's also ziplining, or maybe kayaking and thermal pools for people who enjoy steaming in a hot bath. Turkmenistan's Gates of Hell. A Russian technical accident resulted in one of the world's most popular tourist destinations. And again, there isn't much to explain, just its name. Workers came across a large natural gas cavern while mining in 1971. When officials were unable to obtain assistance from environmental protection organizations, they set fire to the toxic gas. The Darvaza gas crater was created as a result of this. Who doesn't like the term gas crater? Residents have since hosted trips and are known for preparing eggs and other delicacies using exceptionally long poles attached to frying pans. Although there is no guidebook for Gates of Hell, you can expect the recipe to begin with setting the fire to a few thousand degrees. Kawarau Bridge Bungee Jumping. The tallest, almost insane bungee jump in the world is not the Kawarau Bridge in New Zealand. That prize goes to the bungee jumping spot at the Macau Tower. The Kawarau Bridge, on the other hand, was the first bungee jump spot in the world. This bridge gave birth to a thrilling trend and a global infatuation with jumping off tall objects while wearing a harness strapped to your legs. This site, hidden within the face of the rock and overseeing the spectacular Kawarau River, is worth visiting solely for the view. Don't you think 140 feet is a large number? Wait till you get to the bridge's edge, standing there with your heart pounding, adrenaline racing, and your thoughts racing, ready to jump over. This is still undoubtedly the most well-known bungee destination that attracts tens of thousands of thrill seekers each year who visit to test their limits. Do you believe you have the courage to take a risk? Japan's Suicide Forest. The vast Aokigahara Forest, which is located just a few miles from Mount Fuji, is also known as the Sea of Trees. However, this forest has been linked to as many suicides as there are trees in it. Every year, around 90 people voluntarily commit suicide inside this forest, to the point where some unhappy people come to this woodland intentionally to commit suicide. This is how the name of the woodland came to be. The dreary atmosphere of the woods is said to have contributed to the suicides. The leafy canopy in most places of the Aokigahara forest is so dense that not even sunlight can pass through. It's easy to become lost in the pitch blackness and eerie silence, and compasses are useless due to the high concentration of iron ore in the ground. After what appears to be an unending amount of wandering, death appears to be the only option, but that is only an assumption. Nobody can clearly say that this answers the question of why people kill themselves. To encourage the missing people, Japanese police have put up posters that read, "Your life is a treasured gift from your parents," but it has been in vain. The government no longer sends search teams into the forest because the suicide rate is so high. They are now concerned that the members of the search party will also go missing. And that brings us to the end of this video. Let us know if you think these locations are scary enough in the comment section. Remember to like, subscribe, and click on the notification bell to get notified when we post a new video.